Hello, it's January 2nd, 2015 at 10:45 a.m. This is a tarot card reading for Reddit user Imtryintodomybest. You asked me what was coming up in your spiritual year in 2015 using a standard tarot card deck and the horseshoe spread. The reason I like this spread is it's relatively in-depth, and instead of you telling me your question and me selecting a card to represent you, it actually chooses a card for us. I think this prevents any confusion based on you're not being aware of what you should say, or not being able to be honest with me, or me misinterpreting your question and choosing a corn card that doesn't represent you as well as it could. This really lets us know where you are right now and where your attitude is right now. So the first card we pull in the spread represents your past, and here we have the Seven of Cups. What this card tells me is in the past, you were more concerned with immediate gratification. You were not concerned with things that took time to develop, things that could lead to satisfaction in some far-off future. So what this tells me is that your interest in spirituality is really a recent development. Excuse me. The second card we have represents your present state, and here we have the Knight of Wands. So what the Knight of Wands really represents is someone who is doing soul searching. So I definitely see your quest to learn more about yourself and your spirituality here. But what I'm seeing is that you really need to do it on your own terms. What this is telling me is maybe you were raised in a specific spiritual tradition, and you are currently looking outside of it, or you should be looking outside of it. That doesn't necessarily mean, say you were raised Christian and you end up being another religion. What it means is that right now you need to be willing to be open and explore everything. Don't be concerned with what your family, your friends, or even what you yourself may think. Just totally open yourself up. Don't be concerned with tradition. Follow your intuition and follow your heart while you're exploring your spirituality. The next card in the spread represents the hidden influences on the situation. And here we have the Hanged Man. And what this shows me is you're currently on a journey in regards to your spirituality. And I do see that you haven't tapped all of the wisdom. You haven't gained everything you can on this quest. So you should definitely continue pursuing it. What this card also tells me is that you may have some type of prophetic power. You may have some type of psychic ability. You may be aware of it. You may have an idea about it and deny it, or you may not be aware of it. So while you're exploring your spirituality and you're opening yourself up to all paths, I would suggest maybe looking into the tarot yourself. Multiple other divination forms out there as well. Personally, I do other readings, including tea leaf readings. So that's something to really consider on your spiritual journey. Making an investment in divination can be free to $10. It's really something cheap. So if it doesn't stick for you, unless you are, of course, under extreme financial burden, it's not a large investment to make. The next card we have, again, represents you and your current attitudes about your spirituality. And what we have here is the Death card. First, please know that the Death card does not literally mean a death. So that's not what I'm seeing here. What this card tells me is that you are going to go through a major period of upheaval. So not only will you be leaving this instant gratification state and perhaps some of your traditions, whether you return to them or not, you're going to go through an upheaval. It won't always be easy to change your ways, to open yourself up. But at the end of this upheaval, there will be a rebirth. You'll be a totally new person. You'll have new insights. So I definitely see you achieving some spiritual gratification on this journey. The next card we have is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups represents in this spread what other people think about the situation. So here I see that other people think that relationships that you once took for granted will be running short soon. They'll be ending soon. And you need to come to terms with that and move on. And what that tells me is maybe some of the people you surrounded yourself with who either shared some of these materialistic, immediate gratification values, or maybe some of these traditional values you're straying from, those relationships may be ending. And that's absolutely fine. That's part of life. People come and people go, no matter how painful we think it may be, and no matter how permanent a relationship we think may be. So your friends are just saying to keep an eye out for that and kind of, and just make sure you're coming to terms with that. The next card here represents the advice the deck has to give you, and I knew there are a few cards that really represent spirituality, spiritual exploration. I knew one of those cards would show up, and here it is, the Moon. What the Moon deals with is intuition and spirituality. So the deck is definitely telling you you're on the right path. As we see here, you have more knowledge to gain. So definitely continue. This card actually also re-emphasizes the idea of prophetic powers as seen in the Hanged Man. So the deck is really advising you to pick up a book, pick up a tarot card deck, start exploring your own psychic abilities. If you're aware of them and you kind of shy away, it's time to start embracing that part of yourself and exploring it. That is something I would definitely advise you to begin doing. The last card in this spread represents the conclusion. So all of these cards are a chapter in a novel, and each one leads to the conclusion. The last card we have here, the outcome, is of course the Nine of Cups. And what this card is showing me, it's really emphasizing you are where you need to be right now. You should be leaving behind this immediate gratification. You should be exploring your different spiritual paths. As we see here, there is knowledge you have not gained. So even though it may be difficult right now due to this Death card, it may be hard to become a new person, leave behind old traits, you are on the right path. Even if some relationships end, you're on the right path. You're towards a path of rebirth. And don't forget that prophetic power. That's something to continue pursuing as well. But you currently have emotional abundance due to this spiritual growth. You'll continue to grow emotionally and spiritually if you continue on the same path. So good luck with your spiritual exploration. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions about the prophetic aspects. I'd love to discuss with you. And have a wonderful day.